What's your take on the John Jansen lawsuit against Shannon?
I think that the timing of it is very suspect. I think he had an opportunity to ask for the money when they broke up months ago, but I think he meticulously waited to do it while we were filming.
Let me tell you about Emily Simpson, the attorney who never shuts up about being an attorney. The woman who preaches body positivity while mocking other women's appearances.
Kelly, that's my husband.
That's a little bit.
Hey, that's my husband.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Talk to my husband.
Oh, yeah, really? Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Hey, go. Come on, hit me. Hit me.
I'm not
Get you don't talk to my husband.
No. Away from me. I bet you don't
The self-proclaimed voice of reason who orchestrated one of the most disturbing takedowns in Real Housewives history.
I had to hire an attorney to sue the nanny. Do you understand that? No, I have to send her a cease and desist for invasion of privacy and defamation. And I have to pay this attorney who is very expensive.
I get
And
that.
if you ignored it, I wouldn't have to be dealing with this. I mean, how am I supposed to meet with my attorney and have conversations about suing some woman and then go sit with you and be like, tell me about your life? Like, how do I do that?
Emily Simpson joined Real Housewives of Orange County in season 13, positioning herself as the educated, accomplished lawyer who was different from the typical housewives. But 7 seasons later, her reputation is in absolute ruins, and honestly, she did it all to herself. Emily Rebecca Simpson joined RChalk in 2018 after working as an attorney specializing in copyright law at national law firm Hybe & Associates. From day one, she made sure everyone knew she was a lawyer. And I mean everyone. Every conversation, every argument, every confessional. Well, as an attorney, being a lawyer, my legal background tells me, girl, we get it. You went to law school. But here's what Emily conveniently leaves out. Her law school, Thomas Jefferson School of Law, lost its accreditation in 2019. When Shannon Beater brought this up during an argument, Emily got defensive, claiming she passed the bar twice and that the school was accredited when she attended. Sure, Emily, but the way you constantly wave around your attorney credentials while the school literally doesn't exist anymore, that's giving desperate.
Talk to me in front of everyone, Emily.
Did you want to yell?
Do that?
Do you want to do that? I'm asking you to have a conversation.
Well, you should have done that
two.
over there.
Don't point at me. You want to go have a conversation?
Stop being rude to me.
You're the one being rude. You're being cold and you're being condescending.
Emily, I was
I'm asking you to have
Could you be quiet for a second?
No, off.
And speaking of desperate, Emily eventually stepped away from practicing law full-time to focus on being on RChalk. So the woman who built her entire identity around being a kick-ass attorney literally quit being a lawyer to be a reality TV star. But she still introduces herself as an attorney and acts superior to everyone because of it. Now, let's talk about Emily's biggest hypocrisy: body-shaming other women while crying victim when anyone mentions her weight. In 2024, Emily used Ozempic for 6 weeks, got liposuction on her arms, had a breast reduction and lift, and lost over 30 pounds. When people commented on her dramatic transformation, she went on Good Morning America playing the victim about Ozempic shaming.
Luke has always been a picky eater, but it's gotten to the point, I would say, over the last year where it's just he doesn't eat at all. Do you want chips or do you want some goldfish or something?
I am not hungry.
You're not hungry? 2 months ago, I took Luke to a therapist. She told me that he definitely has ARFID, which stands for Avoidance Restrictive Food Intake Disorder. The nutritionist was explaining to me he doesn't understand that he feels hungry. Food in general disgusts him.
She said in an interview, "I just don't understand why we feel the need to shame someone because they did something differently than someone else would." Okay, Emily, that's a great sentiment. Let's see if you apply that same energy to other women. Nope. During season 19, Emily repeatedly poked fun at Gretchen Rossi's wardrobe. made backhanded compliments about her hair and overall appearance, and even made jokes about her in interviews. When a fan called her out for being hypocritical, Emily gave some condescending response about needing a vocabulary lesson because apparently we're all just too stupid to understand her compliments. But wait, there's more hypocrisy. Some viewers suggested Emily's own weight loss journey and surgery might have influenced her son Luke's eating disorder diagnosis. ARFID, avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. Emily's response? She told Us Weekly these accusations were hurtful and that Luke's disorder had nothing to do with body image. So Emily can have multiple surgeries, use Ozempic, post constant gym selfies, and document her entire weight loss journey on TV and social media. But how dare anyone suggest that might impact her 10-year-old son, who's watching his mother obsess over her appearance? The cognitive dissonance is stunning. Emily has made an entire career out of calling other people hypocrites while being the biggest hypocrite of them all. She unfollowed and publicly dragged Bronwyn Wyndham Burke in 2020, calling her a hypocrite who makes questionable life choices while pointing fingers at others, labeling them, and harshly judging them. Emily baby, have you met yourself? In 2024, Emily went on a rant about Jennifer Pedranti being irresponsible with money after Jennifer fell behind on her $12,000-month rental payments. Emily said Jennifer moving into an expensive home without stable income was an irresponsible decision and that she felt bad for the homeowner, not Jennifer. But then Emily admitted her harsh judgment came from her own childhood trauma with her mother's financial struggles, saying, "It felt like that victim mentality I grew up with, and I think I have a lot of trauma from my childhood, and so that just brought up a lot of things." So Emily can project her unresolved trauma onto other women and judge them harshly, but we're all supposed to feel sorry for her because she had a tough childhood? Make it make sense. And here's the kicker about Emily's financial superiority complex.
Who out of this group of women do you trust the least? Heather said I would pick Tamra. And I said you. And I'll tell you why I said you. My fear is if I shared things with you that were really personal and you got mad at me in some circumstance, that you would go look something up. That's a legitimate fear.
That hurts my feelings.
I
that you
know
would
it
even
hurts
say
your
that.
feelings.
Because I am I am being loyal to a fault. I'm always honest with everybody. What have I ever done to her that she would not trust me?
Tamra is unpredictable. There's all kinds of articles that like my husband's cheating on me. I don't know where those come from. You have to admit that you do things like that too. You can't just have clean hands all the time and everybody else is a villain. I'm saying that I said,
I can't believe this.
wait, now you're pissed at me?
No, I'm been hurt by you.
Emily has repeatedly been accused of having her wealthy in-laws fund her lifestyle through investments Shane's parents set up for him. During the season 18 reunion, Jennifer Pedranti fired back at Emily saying, "I've read that your in-laws fund your whole life." Emily denied it on Instagram, but she's previously admitted on Watch What Happens Live in 2019. It's no secret that Shane's parents are very wealthy, and so he has lots of investments that they set up for him. So Emily is living off her husband's family money while judging other women for their financial situations. The audacity is breathtaking. Let's talk about Shane Simpson, Emily's husband who has been dragged through the mud by viewers for years for his cold, dismissive treatment of Emily on camera. During season 14, Emily admitted she couldn't even watch full episodes because Shane's behavior made her nauseous. She said, "It's not easy, so sometimes it's just easier for me to just separate myself from it completely." In season 19, Emily described herself as more of the nurturing parent, while Shane isn't as warm and fuzzy, but rather more of the pragmatic kind of dad. That's Emily speak for, "My husband is emotionally unavailable and dismissive." They clashed constantly over how to handle their son Luke's health issues, with Emily accusing Shane of trying to simplify Luke's diagnosis and not taking it seriously enough. But here's where Emily's hypocrisy shows up again. When Tamra Judge made comments about Shane being a little borv who goes after women, Emily went off saying, "Tamra consistently speaks poorly of me, my family, and my husband. Her statements about Shane are hypocritical and childish. I've never spoken poorly of Eddie. Except Emily has repeatedly thrown other people's relationships and family members under the bus. She's commented on everyone else's marriages, finances, and parenting. But the second someone mentions Shane, she's clutching her pearls and crying about boundaries. Now we get to Emily's most recent scandal. And this one is damning. In November 2025, a blogger leaked alleged DMs between Emily and them, claiming Emily asked me to post negative content about Alexis Bellino. This is the same Emily who spent all of season 19 dragging Katie Janella for allegedly talking to bloggers and content creators. Emily accused Katie of crossing boundaries and being two-faced, saying, "We don't go after each other's children, and I even had a conversation with her last season." The blogger's post said Emily was coming for Katie for doing the same exact things that Emily herself was doing. So Emily was secretly deeming bloggers, asking them to post negative content about her castmate, while simultaneously crucifying Katie for allegedly doing the exact same thing. The hypocrisy is off the charts. Let's talk about what Emily did to Katie Janella, because this is where Emily's mask truly slipped, and we saw who she really is. The feud between Emily and Katie started when Katie's daughter allegedly overheard Emily's kids saying negative things about Heather Dubrow while babysitting. A nanny also backed up Katie's claims, saying Emily's kids always talked about how they hated Heather. Instead of addressing this privately, Emily decided to set up an ambush at her Persian New Year party. She even told producers she was planning to surprise the women with lie detector tests to put Katie's money where her mouth is. Katie showed up to the party having forgotten to take her anti-anxiety medication and was already experiencing an anxiety attack. Katie said, "I was anxious, not only to be in this group of women, but then sit in Emily's closet and do a random, non-certified polygraphy test, not in a controlled environment, in her closet." The examiner declared Katie failed every single question and performed the worst out of everybody. There's even reports the examiner was overheard making a private remark. "She's so full of sut." And what did Emily do? She kicked Katie out of her house in front of everyone. One review described it as, "Tossing out a housewife after she fails her polygraph test is the kind of gutter behavior that makes Ardok the desperate housewives of the modern age." Here's what makes this really disgusting. A true polygraph involves no surprise questions, a practice test, and a post-test interview, none of which Emily's little friends provided. She set Katie up to fail in a non-certified test administered in her closet while Katie was having a panic attack. After this episode aired on August 28, 2025, Katie disappeared from filming for a while because the rest of the cast refused to work with her.
I think I was only home from Amsterdam a couple days before we started Wife Swap, so I really was questioning my life choices at that point. There wasn't a lot of information. I didn't know the schedule really, or how long. I didn't know where I was going. And I think it was all those unknowns too, that also I was just like, what am I doing? What did I sign up for? And I'll tell you also, when they first approached me about doing it, I mean, maybe this is on me, but I thought it meant switching with another housewife. So I thought, oh, I'll probably switch with like Melissa Gorga or something. And then I feel like I only figured it out like close to filming, that it was like, oh, I'm switching with, like, I don't know who it is or what's going on.
Katie told Us Weekly, "I was gutted. I was saying to my husband last night, I was like, thank you for letting me rot in bed for a few weeks. I was just so emotional about leaving." And the worst part? Fans started pointing out this was yet another case of multiple white women ganging up on and driving off a woman of color from our hawk. One viewer posted, "No matter the situation or who is in the wrong, watching 4 or 5 white women gang up on a woman of color feels less like fair conflict and more like targeted exclusion." Emily orchestrated a calculated, humiliating takedown of a castmate using a fake lie detector test, then kicked her off the show. That's not being a voice of reason or bringing receipts. That's being a bully. Plain and simple. So where does Emily stand now in November 2025? Her reputation is destroyed. The blogger DM leak exposed her as a hypocrite who does the exact things she can. Constant body shaming while crying victim about her own weight has exposed her lack of self-awareness. Fans are now questioning if she got a chin implant before the season 19 reunion, with before and after photos showing noticeable changes to her face. After all that talk about body positivity and not judging women's choices, Emily apparently continues to go under the knife while judging others. The woman who came into Arcock as the educated attorney with something to prove has become exactly what she claimed to be different from: a mean girl who uses her advantages to tear other women down. Here's what really bothers me about Emily. It's not the plastic surgery or the Ozempic, or even leaving her legal career. It's the audacity to position herself as morally superior while doing the exact things she condemns. She preaches body positivity while mocking appearances. She demands privacy for her family while exposing others. She judges financial struggles while living off family money. She condemns contacting bloggers while deeming them herself. She talks about boundaries while setting up elaborate ambushes to humiliate castmates. Emily Simpson is the walking definition of do as I say, not as I do. And what makes it worse is she does it all with this condescending, self-righteous attitude because she's an attorney and therefore smarter than everyone else. Even though she quit being an attorney to be on reality TV from a law school that lost accreditation. The irony is rich. Will Emily survive on our chalk? Probably. Bravo rarely fires people for being hypocrites. If they did, there wouldn't be any housewives left. But her reputation? That's done. She's exposed herself as exactly the type of person she claims to be against. Fans see through her now. Her castmates don't trust her. And that carefully crafted image of the educated, accomplished, morally superior attorney has crumbled. The unexpected collapse of Emily Simpson isn't about one scandal or one mistake. It's about 7 seasons of mounting hypocrisy, calculated cruelty, and stunning lack of self-awareness all coming to a head. She spent years positioning herself as better than the typical housewife, smarter, more accomplished, more evolved. But in the end, she's shown herself to be worse, because at least the other women own their mess. Emily does the same things while pretending she's above it all. Emily Simpson came onto Real Housewives of Orange County claiming she wasn't like the other girls because she's a lawyer. Later, she's exposed herself as someone who weaponizes her education to belittle others, projects her trauma instead of dealing with it, sets up ambushes to humiliate castmates, secretly contacts bloggers while condemning others for it, judges women for things she does herself, and uses her attorney status to intimidate people despite having left her legal career. The woman who wanted to be seen as the voice of reason has become the voice of hypocrisy. The attorney who never stops mentioning her degrees has shown she learned nothing about basic human decency. That's not a collapse, that's self-destruction. And Emily has no one to blame but herself. What do you think? Has Emily Simpson shown her true colors? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe because this season of Our Shock is just getting started and we'll be covering every messy moment.